And we're back. Or we're here in the first place. Hello. Can you guys hear me?
Hello,
Yes.
yeah, I
Welcome,
can hear you,
welcome.
Jason.
Awesome. All right. Happy Friday and welcome to Friday's Tech Commute episode, Wins and Struggle Bus. And we have a very special guest today, Marc Backes. Am I saying that right? Backes? You
Yeah,
pronounce
yeah,
Backes?
that
Oh,
is correct. Yes,
clearly
I feel
not.
like
I'm
the
clearly not.
yeah.
Yeah. That was a very dismissive. Yeah.
I mean, it's in my language it would be Bacchus, but I think that sound it's not usually in the English language. So Bacchus or Bakes, even if is
Ooh.
good for me.
I like bakes. Okay, we're going with bakes. All right, Marc
Yeah,
Bakes
sure.
here
I
with
feel
Yeah,
like that's
us
the
today.
furthest away from the real name, though, Jason.
I also agree, but I mean, I think we know recently of my woes of trying to pronounce names. So um, hopefully Misha can come in and attest to that later. But anyway, welcome to Marc, listed as tech lead, full stack engineer in Vue and Nux, Node, TypeScript, student pilot, and public speaker. We're going to get into all of that.
Wow.
I know the resume. Is that what we would call that?
Yes.
bio. Yeah,
Yeah, the bio.
The
Yes,
bio.
the bio. My God, I cannot talk this morning. All right, well, let's welcome Marc. If you wanted to introduce yourself to everybody, and I'm going to check the stream here. Let's see if our chat is actually working this week.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. So thanks for having me, Jason and Ellie. It's fantastic to be here. Yeah. So you mentioned yeah. So this is like the first time I'm on a podcast since like probably more than a year ago. So this is
Wow.
this is fun to finally be back at a podcast. I used to be super nervous in these, but I'm not anymore. So I also didn't used to be like you introduced me as public speaker. I'm just public speaker since COVID, actually, since 2020, when all the conferences were virtual. So I just started like, hey, maybe I can do this. Not as
Wow.
scary as being in front of a bunch of people,
Yeah, I
but
feel like
equally
this is
as
less scary than being in front of a whole crowd, but I don't know. Jason, you just did your first talk recently. Do you feel like this
I
is more
did.
scary or was that more scary?
I kind of have to go with Marc on that one. I mean, I think that actually they're both intimidating in their own way. You know,
yeah,
Mhm.
like
for
I'm
sure.
sure because Marc, you pointed out that you haven't done one of these types of things in a while. So you probably had a little bit of nerves coming into this too.
Uh, no,
He's
no,
like,
actually
no.
not. But probably because I was, it was a busy day today. I didn't even have time to think about it, and yeah, I
There you
just
go.
checked my notifications on Twitter or on X. I was like, oh yes, I'm on a stream today. Okay, yeah, no time to think about it, but I will be there, and it will be fun. So that's good.
Nice.
So
And
hi,
now
hi
you are.
everyone in the chat. We have people
Oh
here
yeah,
already
the
We've got
chat's
writing
popping
stuff.
Chris
off.
Lane Jones. We've got someone who doesn't even know what this show is about.
We know who that is. That's our friend Matt. Good to see Matt. Triv's here. We've got people all over the place. Looks like mostly Twitch right now, which is great. Talk about your busy week a little bit. Let's dive right into some wins and struggles. I would love to hear what a week in Marc's life is like, and maybe some of the accomplishments you had, and maybe a couple things that you didn't quite land where you wanted them to.
Yeah, so you're using the right phraseology. I didn't land where I wanted to where I wanted to. As you mentioned, I'm currently in my student pilot phase. I'm learning to become a pilot, and last week on Friday, actually, I had a test. So it's I have to do this test in order to be allowed to fly by myself and do the last little part of the training. So I'm almost finished. But this is you do an entire flight from start to finish, and they deviate you and they have you do a bunch of stuff. And last week on Friday, where you asked about the struggle, I struggled a lot because weather was shit. A lot of convections, a lot of wind, and nothing really worked. And I failed for the second time that exam already. So I was pretty
Mm.
bummed. Today, I went with the same instructor. I did the same flight. It wasn't a test because I can't do the test with the same instructor again. But he said like, yeah, I take you up again. Let's see how we can fix it. And it went so good today. I just had a few pointers from him, but he said you basically would have passed this time, but yeah, it's not the test, so it's not good. But it's nice to know that I'm where I should be. So that was my win of the week, I would say. Closing of the week. It was actually this morning. I woke up at 6:30 to leave at 7:30 to be there at 8:30 to prepare the plane, fuel the plane, be ready at 9:30 to leave at 10. So that's like half of the day gone by just doing that. And yeah, you asked about a typical week. So this week wasn't a typical week. I could talk to you a little bit about a typical week. I usually have like Mondays is usually meeting day at work. So I catch up everyone what happened the week before. I get some input what we are going to do or what we should be focusing on the week. And yeah, then I have with the team like some more follow-up meetings after that, and then I get a little bit to coding. 1 or 2 days a week I go flying. Hopefully, if the weather is good, that's going to go down now that weather's becoming worse and worse. And yeah, that's it. Then I'm coding. I have some catch-up calls with colleagues, and I also don't work full-time. I work with this company at I don't even know this percentage, 70%, like 28 hours the week. So I have Monday through Wednesday full time, and then I have every other Thursday as well. So Friday is usually off. Today not. Like just before this, I did some 2-hour work for something urgent. So that's also comes up sometimes like, oh, there's something urgent. You have to check it right away. But usually the end of the week is quite quiet. Yeah,
quite quiet. That's a tricky one to say. It's a little bit of a tongue twister. I mean, it sounds like you have a ton on your plate, and I want to applaud you for all the effort you're putting into the aviation, because it seems like there is a ton that you need to know about that. What are some of the things outside of just like flying the plane that you have to understand? Because I mean, it sounds like you have to know some cartography and meteorology and all these other things to really be functional as a pilot. And I don't think a lot of people understand that. Like me playing flight simulator on my computer, I never would have thought about some of the stuff you mentioned.
Yeah, so they always say you don't just become a pilot, you become a lawyer, an engineer, a meteorologist, a navigation expert, a physics physics expert or physics researcher or whatever. So flying the plane is actually probably the smallest part of the whole thing. The next part that is big is navigation. So especially in the small planes here, we fly with aeronautical charts, so paper maps. So you have the apps there. You can use an app later, but now for my training, I need to use the paper map. So I have like small like a road there of points I need to find, and then I need to see which direction I have to go. I have to wind correct, and so that's one big part. So do I see my next point? Where's my next point? What is around the next point, so I can identify it when I get there. That's one part. The other is communication. Of course, you always have to be talking to someone and use the right phraseology. You have to be there on time, and this ties a little bit into the lawyer thing I told you about. Like the airspaces, you have to, like, before the flight, you prepare. Like when I prepare a flight, it takes me 4 to 6 hours to prepare it, because you have to see, okay, I will fly through here. What is here? Okay, there's an airspace that starts at 3,000 feet. And because I entered that airspace, early enough, I have to request to get in the airspace. If not, I'm already in trouble. I get a number to call, and I have to fill out a form, and it can have some repercussions depending on which airspace you fly into. And physics, you have to understand what your airplane does, why it does it, and what are some consequences of, for example, loading the airplane. Like if I'm just with my instructor, it's very front heavy, so it has some results in the aerodynamics there, which I don't want to get into too much, but so there's a lot to know, but most of it is planning it. So planning is finding good points, knowing where you can and can't fly. Then you have to navigate when you're in the plane. You have to talk to people. You have to communicate yourself. And so that's about it. But also flying the plane is not always easy because, as I told you last week, there was a lot of convection, so a lot of air coming, like the clouds pulling the airplane up. So I was constantly too fast and too high. And I struggled to even control the plane, not even talking about navigating. So they always say aviate, navigate, communicate. So aviate, you have to do first. I didn't even get out of the aviate. But I actually didn't get lost. So I don't know how I didn't get lost. Why? But communicate came way too short that time. I didn't communicate myself. I communicated myself way too late. And so it's not always easy, but usually if the weather conditions are okay, you just trim it so it flies straight and level, and then you can basically not touch anything, and it should more or less fly the same altitude, the same direction, and then you can do stuff like check out your chart and look at stuff.
Wow, that is just a ton of information, and I want to get to Roxy's question quick, but I do have a follow-up question based on something you said earlier. Roxy was curious about the type of plane you're flying. Her father-in-law has a prop plane. She thinks it's a Mooney, so she's curious about the actual aircraft.
Yes, sure. It's also a single-engine prop machine. It's a Piper PA-28 that I'm flying.
Nice. That's cool. I really wish I knew more about planes, but after hearing all of the stuff you just told me that's involved, I feel like I can never do it. But I'm wondering though, in your experience now as a developer and working on teams and like having transferable skills that you've upgraded over the years and now putting it into another thing that has a lot of pieces to it, like do you see some parallels in the process for yourself?
Not that much. It's more comparable to learning how to drive a car. It's just 10 to 20 times more complicated. But it's a little bit the other way around. I learned stuff while becoming a pilot that helps me more in at work. For example, like having checklists. Like what do you do if, I don't know, production goes down? We didn't have a checklist for that. Now we have a checklist for that.
That's
awesome. When you're in the air and something happens, like we have these simulated engine failures, the instructor just pulls the power and he says, okay, you have an engine failure. What are you going to do? So you have like a second or second and a half to think and to react. And also that in like, let's say production bugs or production stuff, something where something goes wrong and you have to react quickly. So you learn how to or I learned how to react quickly with very pragmatic, just like focus on what's the issue, like, right? So, and also go through a checklist. And those are things that make me, I think, a better, I would say, developer, also probably better leader. So yeah.
I love when things that you're doing outside of work are able to help you at work when you find tools like that. I love the idea of a checklist too. you don't really hear about that a lot, and I feel like that's one of the easiest things anybody can implement to
Yeah.
really like help them in processes. That's a really good suggestion. I actually think I might start doing that, like doing punch lists. So we used to do that on film
Yeah.
sets too. Yeah, that's a great idea. I love that. Nice. All right. We've got, man, the chat is buzzing right now. We'll say hi to Jay. I see
Let's
Jake
see. Let's
Torres
see.
here. Roxy's still here. Matt's here. Jake, I know Jake has some wins for us this week, so I hope that we get some more people sharing their wins in here that we can talk about. But Ellie, tell us about your week. What are your wins this week?
So I didn't fly any planes. I feel like it's hard to compare to that. But I wish I could. It sounds like you have to remember a lot of things, and I don't really know if I can do that. So, and also I don't really work that well under like a lot of pressure. So maybe if they were like, land the plane, we're all gonna die, and then I'd be like, oh, I don't know what to do, like let's just jump out. I don't know. Anyway,
I don't know if that's the best approach, but
well,
Yeah.
if we had like a skydiving thing, what is that? A
gotcha.
parachute.
A parachute, yes.
And then the
If we had
plane
that.
crashes into people on the ground.
That would be terrible. That would be terrible. That's why I shouldn't fly a plane.
I'll go with that.
But
I agree.
yeah, I guess this week, so my wins and struggles are sort of like intertwined because this week I sort of like at pieces, I got some new responsibilities, I guess you could say. So I'm focusing on like the social media accounts and stuff. So I'm going from like just doing
Cool.
my social media, like my Twitter. And even for me, like going to LinkedIn and posting something on my own LinkedIn was like annoying, you know? So now there's like 7 different accounts plus mine. And I'm just like, that's a lot of accounts in my brain to kind of like think about all at once. And I guess it's something I just have to get used to. But yeah, basically, if you see posts from pieces, maybe it's me, probably it's me. But
How do you manage that? Like so
question.
many accounts. I would love to see some insight or hear some insights about how you like. Do you just do it like as you see fit, or do you have like an action plan of sorts?
yeah, so I mean this is my first week of doing this, so I'm
Okay,
sure
yeah.
that I'll have more insights later on, and probably in a few weeks like I'll get a better routine going with the content. But yeah, basically if I have like an idea or I have a piece of content that I'm like, okay, this I want to share it among the different accounts, like I'll make a checklist of like, okay, which account which platform makes sense to share this content to. And so it's basically like you have the one and you just share it to all of them, but not necessarily, because I've been doing experiments this week and I'm like, I originally thought that Instagram and TikTok were kind of the same when it comes to short form content, but actually they're not. Like TikTok, you can do really, really casual content, like something just very, very random. And you could literally just say like, hi, you know, whatever. But Instagram, it's like people actually want to learn something. You know, if you just post something very casual, it doesn't really do as well as TikTok. So even the short form content, like it varies based on the platform. So I'm kind of just figuring out all of that stuff right now and seeing what makes the most sense for us to share. And then I'm also doing like video editing too, which I really haven't done before, but it's kind of good because I wanted to do it anyway. And I've been telling myself like, oh, I want to get into video content, but so it's sort of a win, but it's also a struggle because I'm like adapting to this new format and way of doing things, I guess. So that's sort of my week, but I'm excited because next week there is some cool stuff happening, like a Pieces Twitter space. And then also I'm doing a portfolio roast thing, like critique with Lauren.
Oh, snap.
She's a designer on our team. So if you have a portfolio and you want her to judge it, then you can definitely let me know. I think
I will take my side down now. So I don't want to be part of that.
No, we won't judge random people. Just if you like submit it, we'll judge it. But it should be fun. So that's sort
awesome.
of the plan.
Cool. Yeah, you do the job that I did something very similar. I want to say two years ago for View Storefront, which now has a different name. I don't remember what the name is now, but I also did video editing and social media, all that stuff. So it's fun. Yeah.
How did that go? How did you get into that? And now what changed after that?
Yeah, I was kind of curious about that too, because I was going to follow up with how do you approach the content you put out there?
Well, so first, Ellie, you asked how did I get into that? At the time, the CTO of View Storefront just wrote me, "Oh, hey, I see you're going to Vue.js. What was it? Vue.js London. I'm going to be there. Hey, I want to talk to you about something." And then, okay, sure. And then we talked. He was like, "Hey, we're looking for a developer advocate at the time." And we got into talking. Oh, that sounds all very cool. So I told my job, bye, and see ya. And I just started doing. So they found me because back then I did some more content than I'm doing now about Vue, some coding stuff, and so on. So what changed after that is that I made a video about it a year ago, something. I left DevRel because I just missed coding. I love coding more. DevRel stuff is very cool, but I prefer coding even though. So yeah, I'm back to engineering. And Jason, you asked how do I decide what content to put out? That's a difficult one because I haven't been putting out a lot of content lately for the last year or so, or for the last year and a half. I usually just put out what I want to. I don't really have a strategy or something. I like X is my main platform, and I just put whatever is in my head. Oh, I want something funny, something whatever. I just put it, and sometimes I have like one day where it's usually when I travel. I'm in the airport, what to do, and then you can see like 30 tweets in a matter of an hour, and then you can see maybe for 2 or 3 days nothing, and yeah, so that's probably the reason why I'm not growing anymore on X, because I'm very non-consistent. I used to be very consistent, but also being consistent is a lot of work. I used to be very wake up, answer notifications, talk to people, and be on the damn thing the whole day, which got me a lot of attention, but it's also very soul crushing doing it that way. So now I just do whatever I feel like I want to put out there. I put out there. If people like it, they like it. If they don't like it, too bad. I like it. So
yeah,
I think that's important. Go ahead, Ellie.
It definitely is very time consuming, and also I see what you mean, like, but I guess it's easier if it's just your own personal accounts and you can just be like, I don't want to do it right now. I'm like trying to rest.
Yeah, if it's your job, it's different. Yeah,
then you have to kind of think of ideas and things people would want to interact with and engage with. And also, I think if it's your personal account, you could have sort of a mindset of like, you don't really care that much about growing. You just want to share with your existing community, and that's totally fine. But I feel like the thing that I'm trying to figure out, because I'm sort of that mindset, like I don't really care that much. I'll just share whatever I think is cool, I guess. But now it's like I need to focus on like actually the metrics and how can I actually make these company accounts grow, right? So it's like a different way of posting, I guess. I don't know. Do you have like an approach to that when you were actually managing those accounts?
Uh, no, I didn't. I didn't have an. I had some sort of strategy, like this many
Hey,
blog
buddy, you
posts.
good?
Where did that voice come from?
I think he was
Oh.
talking to
Oh,
Jack.
did that not? So my mute button, this is still working?
Yeah.
Oh, fun fact, my mute button does nothing apparently.
Okay.
Yeah, just ignore that. I was supposed to be muted. Pretend it didn't happen.
Okay, sure. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, so I had I want this many pieces of this content, this many pieces of this content out there per week, or like one of this on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, one of these on Thursday and Tuesday, for example. But I sort of winged it, so to say. I didn't really. I also never said that I was good at that, and people just like, oh, you're doing this. Oh, you're doing fine. You're doing great. Okay, so I think maybe when I used to be more into my personal account and do like push that sort of stuff, it sort of works. Yeah, I think I might have had a good eye for what would work and what not, and that was sort of.
That makes sense. Yeah, I feel like you have to have a good eye on what's gonna like be popular with the people or not. And also in the chat, there's, I guess, Upa's making fun of Roxy's style and calling it unique and retro. Apparently that's offensive. I think it's a compliment though. And also I think Jason's video is choppy because I think we're also streaming to YouTube, and there's like this thing at the top of Streamlabs that's saying like upload progress. I think that's what's causing the issue.
Probably glitching a little bit. We'll get that figured out. Maybe I won't do to YouTube, and we'll just upload afterwards. Working out the kinks. We're working out the kinks. So,
number episode. Which is this?
Wow. So this is season 4, technically episode 4. I went. I don't know, Mark, if you're familiar with Space's dashboard. The guy built it all out using the API, and it gives you all the data in regards to like spaces on X and stuff like that. And I've done, I think, 158 hosted spaces now. So I'm going up towards 200. You'd think by now I would have all my shit figured out. But it's different. It's different every time because we try to add new elements. We have a couple speakers in the space. We're streaming to multiple things, and I still can't figure this out. And it's Friday. None of my equipment wants to work anyways. I actually I was about to update my laptop to the newest Mac OS, and I forgot to hit it earlier. I was like, well, I can't do it now. So I have it. It's like sitting here. If I click anything in this window, everything is going to shut down and for 2 hours to restart. So not happening. It's not happening. Everybody, we're good.
It's okay. Streaming always has little quirks and stuff.
I have a fun story about that. I also used to have a two YouTube shows. So one with Scott Spence. It was called Whiskey Wednesday, and we just had the, let's say, panel discussions about certain topics. And then I had another one called Decoding the Code, which was me interviewing other people one-on-one. And there, I think it was in the second one, Decoding the Code, I had Quincy Larson from Free Code Camp. And I was so happy that he agreed to do that. And then we recorded the episode, and it turns out afterwards, the video was fine, but there was no audio. And I had to write him, hey, Quincy, so listen, can we do this again? Because I fucked up.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so that was, I was so pissed at myself. It was, streaming is not that easy. I think back then I was recording it locally, which was a big mistake. And I was this should work. I tried it before, it works. And then, of course, when time came, it didn't work. and it was like this important interview, at least for me. And but Quincy was very cool about it. He said, "Yeah, sure, let's do it again," and then it worked out fine. So, but that was like a big, oh my god! And I think every streamer has this story. I remember Francesco Chula. He interviewed me once, and he had the same issue. So the audio didn't record, or video or something didn't get recorded, and
Ugh,
same story. We had to redo it.
that's the worst. We had issues when we did um, the virtual conference that we put on last year. Was it last? No, it was at the beginning, closer to the beginning of this year. We had a bunch of really great talks, and none of it recorded, or it was super choppy, or it was this or that. So that was unfortunate, and that's why we're trying to figure out measures to make sure that somewhere we have redundancy with this stuff held. But maybe uploading while it's happening is not the best idea. I think it's one toggle I have to fix. This is okay. This is an okay setup. What
it
for now anyway.
But we want to know about your wins and struggles. I think it's your turn, Jason. You got to tell us about the cool things that happened this
week. You just try to weasel your way out of this one.
I know. He's trying to like not
stuff.
say it.
Yeah.
It's like, let's change the topic.
Yeah. Well, and again, everybody that's in the chat, I see Upa's finally made it. Everybody else, like, I've seen no wins. I've seen no wins over here. Let's bring them up. Upa, you brought it up specifically. You were stoked that we took this over to Twitch because it's more fun and engaging. You ain't said shit, so bring it up.
Yeah, I gotta know Roxy's wins and struggles.
Yeah,
and then who
Chris's,
is like Triv? Who is that?
That's Michael. Michael's 100 Dever. Yeah.
We got to know who's AAK.
Yeah,
that's Matt.
Share your.
Yeah,
how many people do we have in the watching the stream? Everyone share their wins of the week.
Yeah, we got a lot of people on Twitter.
We got
a lot of people on Twitch.
Chris Lane Jones finished his van.
All right, let's pull this up.
What does that mean? I finished my van. Like
I thought maybe he was making like one of those vans you actually live in, and
yeah. Oh, but
there it is.
That's a nice van, though.
Cool van, yeah. What is it with? Oh, it's just anime. Okay, cool.
Theater.
Sorry, here. Let me get out
with 3JS Blender. Oh, nice. Oh, it has stuff in the, like, it's carrying some. Cool. Well, congrats on the van.
We gotta send the flowers.
Yeah.
Here, I don't have flowers, but here's a duck.
Yeah, we got to figure out flowers on here.
We need to get like some confetti. I think. Like I don't know. Like a confetti that comes out but sticks in the can, and then you can just click a button, it'll go back in, so you don't have to clean it up. Look at that! How did you do
that? Yes.
How did that happen?
He's on a fancy computer.
I'm on the Mac, so
yeah.
All I can do is
yeah, we don't have that. I'm on one of the Intel, the touch bar ones, so I don't have any of that yet.
Yeah.
I can do
there you go. Yeah. All right,
now
they're starting to come in. So Jacamzo said that he hosted a 3-day virtual event, his first time ever. That's amazing.
Whoa,
that's hard. Mark knows about hosting events. Like, can you?
Oh my god! Hosting events is hard. Even like a half-day virtual event or a day virtual event is hard. 3-day virtual event. What was it about? I would love to know what it was about. And yeah, organizing events. I used to work 1 year for We Are Developers. They have a 10,000 developer conference every year in person.
Yeah.
But they also have a bunch of virtual stuff. And I know that also the virtual stuff, even though a lot of stuff was done not by me, it was a lot of work. So 3-day event, nice. I love it.
Yeah, that's pretty intense. I mean, I remember being wildly burned out after we did the 2-day virtual conference. Which I think in most instances, like if I had to reflect on that, if you're hosting, it's a separate amount of effort as opposed to coordinating and hosting and doing this and doing that. And we had only had like 3 weeks to put that all together. So again, in hindsight, if I was to do it again, I would plan it far further in advance. But yeah, like you said, there's a lot of effort there that goes into that. So
I thought you would say if I would have to do it again, I wouldn't.
Oh no, honestly, if I had more time and more resources, I think I would totally do it again.
Same here, but with a lot more time to prepare and a lot more. Yeah.
The time is the key for sure. Love that. So props to him and Flowers. Let's see, Matt fixed a web app breaking bug in an hour yesterday and got it pushed to prod. That's awesome. Love that. Right before the weekend. Good way to go.
Let's do again. Hey, so he fixed the bug. Woo!
There we go. There it is.
The bug. Yes, oh my god.
Yes. I got what can I do? What
I don't know. I'm just gonna show the duck every time.
Here.
Like a prize duck.
I'm gonna put this little guy up and he can cheer with your duck. This
okay.
Fun fact, this is a vintage 1988 hand puppet from Pizza Hut from the movie The Land Before Time.
Oh, I love that movie. I do. Yeah. I actually watched it recently because my boyfriend has never seen it because he's Chinese. So he was like, "What is that?" And so I was like, let's watch it. It's the best movie ever. And I was like crying the whole time. Like I don't remember it being that emotional.
Yeah, it's intense.
It's a good
for
movie,
sure. All right, what else we got? Upa is coming in with, he had a coffee chat with someone who wanted to build a small data center for their business, and he got to propose them with setting up and provided some ideas. So far, the meeting went well, but he's waiting to hear the final decision. I love that for him.
Nice.
Mark, I don't know if you are familiar with what Upa does, but he's very much into the IT and networking side, talks a lot about Docker containers and servers and heavy into that. It's awesome to see his progress with all of that. He's building like home server systems, and it's really cool. Flowers to him.
That's a big deal. So let's
let's give him his flowers. Oh, he gets the fireworks. Mark upgraded just for Upa. All right. Well, Jake Torres, love the noob coming in. No relation, by the way. Brother from another mother. And father, I guess, because the surname. Friday went completed a 10-week ServiceNow cohort and turned a freelance contract.
He missed his flowers because he got an ad. Let's just do flowers one more time for Upa.
One more time for Upa. Flowers. It's Upa. Upa's one of the homies. Let me have it. Love it. Yeah. And then we'll give Jake his as well, because he finished his ServiceNow cohort and turned a freelance contract into an actual job.
That's awesome.
Huge.
Nice.
Yeah.
People getting jobs in the chat.
The jobs are coming back. Woo! Tech jobs are back.
Yeah, I've been seeing people getting jobs recently. So
yeah. It's starting to turn around, because like a year ago it wasn't so hot, the job market. I think it's still not very hot, but getting there.
Did we skip Jason again? Did Jason
we did. Look, it was an event for photographers, so we had a guest that came up because the startup I work with build tools that helps photographers make work easier and interact with their clients seamlessly. So it was a way to engage with our users and audience. So, wow, that sounds pretty intense. And that was a 2-day event.
Love the Noob also missed his shout out because of the ads.
Oh my God. Wow, how is this happening?
I don't know, but here's your flowers.
Hold on.
Should I quack you?
Hey.
No, here, I'll kick it up. I have this talking butthead. All right, you ready? Hold on, let's see if you can hear it. No, it comes out the back. Wait, or does it come out the front?
Shut up, man.
Yeah.
4 minutes.
So he's here too.
That's wild.
That is crazy. All right, so yeah, I guess my wins this week. I actually took. Oh, hey, Dan's here. Great.
I got
Dan,
2. I got a small
Giganti.
Gengar and a bigger one there. And
Oh,
then I
we
have a
talk-
huge Jigglypuff, but it's over there.
Nice. What here? Actually, I do have a question for Mark because I do see some stuff in the background there that's kind of blurred out. What sort of stuff does Mark collect?
Oh yeah, let's take out the portrait. Bam. So some Legos. Oh no, other side. So some
Ooh.
Legos here and here. Some Funko Pops of Marvel. Some Star Wars.
Got
here
a
from
quest.
some series. So this is Chandler from Friends.
Nice.
Penny from Big Bang Theory, also Leonard from Big Bang Theory. Then we have Harley Quinn. We have the Batmobile here. We have Batman here.
Nice.
A bunch of Rubik's Cubes, a DeLorean here, an airplane here. What else? Oh, a Ford Mustang there, a bunch of books. And a
Nice.
bunch of this is like my prized possession. 1 second.
Let's see. Wow.
This is
very nice.
This is a unicorn.
The unicorn. Yep.
So this
Beautiful.
used to be given out only to speakers at ViewConf US, and this was a gift from my dear friend Philip Rakowski, the guy that hired me at View Storefront, actually. So
Wow.
this is one of my prized possessions because there are not many of these out there, and I have one, and I will never give it away. It will always be here.
Never
Amazing.
give that away. I love that.
Yeah.
We're speaking of Lego Star Wars, I'm gonna pan you over. Hold on. The Lego Star Wars is being played right now. Big fan. We actually just built a set this morning too.
Wow.
That's awesome. We did.
I was thinking, where does the Star Wars music come from? There was
You heard it, yeah.
What is
I'm like,
that?
dude, you got to turn this down. It's so loud.
It's a
These,
nice,
no,
it's a nice background.
Yeah, it is nice.
Yeah.
That's an
Yeah.
awesome collection. I feel like as developers or creatives, just period, we have collections of stuff and things, and I love seeing everybody's different. Ellie's got the Pokemon back there, and that's awesome. Yeah, Jack loves Pokemon as well. We have, let's see, I have a bunch of like nostalgia toys up here and some sneakers over here. You can't say I should redesign everything in here, but I have a shelf up here. There's some Funko. I'm also a big Matrix fan. So I have like original action figures from '99, and then I have I have the fun. I have these fun things. I have that guy, and I actually
I think some of your things have quite a value by now.
I have this guy.
Wow.
He's looking a little haggard, but he's got a buddy that looks significantly better. Both. Oh, you're petting him. I can't remember his name. You just saw the movie. What's this guy's name, Ellie?
Sharptooth?
I think you're right. I think that is correct. Yes.
I think so. Wait, I'll be right back. I'm going to show Jack something.
Okay. And then I've got this Turtles 2 arcade game, original Nintendo cart. Like, just I don't know. I like the old retro stuff, Just brings me back to my youth. Uh-oh.
Oh, wow.
Oh, geez. Wow, that's a big one. Hey, buddy, come here. Ellie's trying to show you something. Do you see it?
Yeah, it's Jigglypuff.
It is
Look,
Jigglypuff.
and I have the microphone. Wait, hold on. Jigglypuff needs a microphone, right?
Oh, boy. Isn't that silly?
Yeah, with the microphone.
With the microphone.
Right, or with
That's
the marker.
crazy.
It should actually be a marker, but I don't have one.
Nice.
Anyway.
Alright, get
What's
out
the
here.
biggest thing I have here? Yeah, the biggest thing I have here is probably my Baby Yoda plush.
You have a Baby Yoda plush. Okay. Jack does
Yeah.
too, actually. Oh, no. He just immediately got back up when I said that. He's like, oh, what? Go get
I'm
yours.
up.
It's in the closet.
What's on?
Yeah.
I'm up. What's going on?
Yeah. No, that's awesome. I love collecting things. And again, I mean, you've got your hobbies outside of work. What else do you do? You've got a couple different collections. You fly. What keeps Mark sane?
Actually, there's not much more to it. You give me. You think I'm deeper than I really am. No, I love to watch series and movies. Actually, I'm not like a big what's the name? Cinephile.
Cinephile. Yeah.
I'm not a big cinephile. I couldn't tell you, oh, but the character development here, and I don't know. But I just enjoy going to the movies and or watch series at home in Netflix. For example, the last movie I saw in the cinema, it was so good. Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yes.
Oh my
it was
god!
amazing.
Oh my god! It was like it awesome.
It's
That's huge. That's huge as well.
All
So
right, go play.
it
Yeah,
has to
what-
be. It has to break some sort of record of how many times they broke the fourth wall. It's
Oh, for sure.
like it has to be the most broken fourth walls, that movie.
I agree. Obviously, I don't want to give a lot of spoilers because there was so much there. There was
Much
so much
going on,
unpacked. What kind of a TV show are you into typically? Like, what are you watching right now?
Right now I'm rewatching Big Bang Theory.
Okay.
But my all-time favorite is, or at least used to be, Friends. Like I'm a huge Friends fan. But nowadays I sort of see that there's a lot of sexist stuff in there. Like a lot of sexist and like how do you say again, like what's the name for it? If you make fun of like gays, lesbians, that's there's a name for it. Homophobic. A lot of homophobic and sexist stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, if you would show this nowadays, that this wouldn't fly. But that's a lot with almost any of those type of series from the 90s.
Yeah, I was gonna say the 90s were very different.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because I have two older daughters. They're going to be 16 and 14 soon. And I can't show them anything from the 90s because like it doesn't translate.
Yeah.
You know, like one of my favorite movies, nice buddy, is Dumb and Dumber. And I picked up this fun thing. It's a Hot Wheels that's based on the Shaggin' Wagon. Yes, it's called the Mutt Cuts Van. Thank you, Jack. Yes, like a dog. They wouldn't get it. Like the humor from then and like stuff now, just it's not on the same page. It's very In some ways, it's sad because like Happy Gilmore was hilarious, right? But Happy Gilmore 2's coming out, and I feel like it's not going to be the same because it's going to be, for now, not that same humor. So
yeah, I think it also depends on like what kind of humor it is, you know, like isn't that like slapstick or something?
Yeah,
is that considered slapstick? Because I feel like maybe slapstick is like not everybody's cup of tea.
Yeah,
but I watched Dumb and Dumber recently for the first time, and like some parts were funny to me, but like I really hate movies where like the characters do things that make me feel uncomfortable. Do you know what I mean? Like, any slapstick movie I usually don't like, but I love you know, like anything Sacha Baron Cohen does, I'm okay with it.
But I think to Mark's point though, it's like those things like in the 90s like were funny, like misogynistic and homophobic humor. but now it does make people uncomfortable. But it's like you can't do
That's
that.
not the part that makes me uncomfortable. The
No,
part that
no,
makes me
I
uncomfortable is
know.
like them intentionally doing stuff that will
Sure.
hurt them later on. You know, like any type of
Right,
like
yeah.
high school comedy where the girl character does something like so stupid where you're like, please don't do that because like you're gonna embarrass yourself really badly later. And you're watching it and you're like,
Sure.
no. That's the kind of stuff like I just can't watch because I'm like I feel secondhand embarrassment so much.
Yeah.
I'm very curious, Mark. Give me your top 5 favorite movies of all time. I
Top
love
5 favorite movies. Okay.
Yeah.
Top Gun Maverick.
Top Gun.
It has to be up there. That movie is a masterpiece. The first movie is not everyone's cup of tea. It's from the 80s, I think, and it moves at the pace of an 80s movie, so a little bit slow. But yeah, Top Gun Maverick is Ellie. Before we started this call, you said you haven't seen Top Gun. You have to see Top Gun Maverick. It's one of the best movies ever made.
I think I saw
Probably.
part of Top Gun, but I don't know. I don't get into like I don't even know. I feel like
maybe
it's
a guy
like a
thing,
dude.
as you
It's
said.
like a
Yeah,
dude thing. I don't know. Maybe there's some girls that are into it, but I feel like it's a very dude movie. You know.
my wife loved it, so
I think
sure.
it
maybe.
it definitely skews male. It skews male, but I think Maverick definitely gave some things that lend more towards a female demographic, like putting Miles Teller as the lead.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I'll watch it.
All right, so Top Gun Maverick.
Top Gun Maverick. Another masterpiece. Almost all of these are recent. Spider-Man: No Way Home.
Oh, that was amazing.
That is a masterpiece. I watched it in the cinema, and we had the rumors about what was going on there, but I didn't know for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And wow, I was like, oh my god! And I watched it again last week, and I was like, oh my god, this is so good. This is so good. Yeah, up there. You mentioned before you are a huge Matrix fan. Matrix used to be up there as a top 5 or at least the top 10 movies. Endgame,
nice.
Also masterpiece. So another one of Marvel. You probably can tell I'm a Marvel fan.
A little bit, just a hunch.
Yeah. What other movie? Top movie. Difficult choice. Yeah, I'm blanking.
You have to think about it. That's fine.
Yeah.
You can get back to us on that.
But Jason, you need to say your wins and struggles, because if we're going to end the stream and you don't say it, like you have to say it. We still haven't gotten to yours. Are you trying to skip? You don't want to say it? We can skip.
He's good at deflecting.
Right. He's like trying to not say.
I'm a really good host. Also, I did see that Leah is here. Hello to Leah. And that was a Pikachu from Build-A-Bear. Yes.
He's doing it again. He's doing it again.
Yes.
Okay. Here's the thing. I have a pretty good win, but I can't talk about it.
Secret win.
Secret win. Okay.
Let's give Jason his flowers.
That's good enough for me.
I will give a little bit that I am not looking for a job anymore. But that is all I can tell you. That is all I can tell you. That is it.
No need for more. So
yeah.
Congrats, Jason.
Thank you. And thank you to everybody. I'm like dying to talk about it, but I can't yet. So yeah, but anyway, back to movies. I'm wondering, did you find that like and without giving any spoilers, did you find that like shock factor from No Way Home when you saw Deadpool and Wolverine with some of the things that happened?
Uh,
I like that.
I feel like we're
not
about
as
to give out
much
spoilers.
in that one scene. Oh, it's difficult to talk about it without giving spoilers. That one scene where he says he's gonna say it, and then he
Yeah.
says something different. I was like, oh my god, he's back, and then okay. That's all I'm going to say about that. I that's probably one of my favorite scenes of the movie.
Yeah, I mean, both of them were so good for almost that exact same reason. Like, I loved the cameos, really. Simply put, like you knew they were coming, but you didn't know. So when it actually happened, like I remember like audible gasps in the audience when we saw the Spider-Man No Way Home at the movie theater, and I was like, oh my god. So
yeah, I was in the movies and I saw it, and it was more than gasp. People were getting up and clapping. I was one of them. So and
No,
wooing.
that's
But from
the
that
whole
movie,
point.
I don't know. I think the movie is old enough so we can spoiler a little bit.
Yeah.
But there's
Wait, which one? Both of them?
No Way Home.
I
Maybe
haven't
Deadpool.
seen either of them.
So
What?
the No Way Home.
Nice.
What's wrong with you, Ellie?
I don't know. I haven't gotten
No
the
Top
movies
Gun
in a
Maverick.
while.
No Marvel movies.
I do see Marvel movies, but not the new ones because I feel like all of the new ones are bad, so I just haven't been seeing
That
them
is
recently.
okay. So, and Mark can probably attest to this. After Endgame, outside of Spider-Man, like it did get different. It got very different. Like, what was the so Endgame was the end of Phase 3? Is that right?
Or Phase
Or 4?
4?
I think it was 4.
Yeah.
And then Spider-Man No Way Home like kind of opened the door to the next phase, but it didn't talk about the next phase. It just kind of revisited it. But I love
So I should watch it.
Yes, I love the multiverse MCU.
Yeah.
Holy cow. Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, so the one thing about the No Way Home, this one scene where Andrew Garfield saves MJ.
Yeah,
he got to save her.
Redemption.
I was like, I'm not crying. You were crying.
No.
I was, as they paused on that scene afterwards, and I was like, this was so intentional, and I was they made that scene so good.
Yeah.
I loved it. I loved it.
He's emotional. He saved her. Just that full story arc and having like that closure for him.
Yeah.
Oh,
I love that. I love that. I was like, someone says they're mostly into Thor. I'm a huge Thor fan as well. I even love the fourth one, like Sumi.
What was that, Love and Thunder? Right?
Yeah. Sumi, I loved it anyways. There's just one plot hole there, but apart from that, I loved it either way. But I know almost nobody loved that one, but Sumi.
Yeah, I mean, I liked what Taika did with the films. I liked the light humor to it, but still having like a serious undertone. But I also got that from Deadpool and Wolverine. Like you've got like this really heartfelt story, but they just punch holes in it and make it fun. Which is why I really like that. Sean Levy did a great job directing it, and all the acting was phenomenal. I'm very excited for that to come out on Disney Plus so I can watch it a few more times because I'm not going to pay $40 to go see it again. But there's tons of great Marvel movies that aren't part of like the like direct main line of like the Avengers and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
Ellie, you gotta kind of deep dive it a little bit. I am curious. We can wrap up here. Let's everybody in the chat throw some movie recs out for everyone here. I personally, I'll give my top 5, and I would love to hear Ellie's because this is interesting just based on what she's told us she hasn't seen yet. I'm very curious to hear what her top 5 movies are.
Same.
Yeah. I liked Gladiator, if you remember that movie with Russell Crowe, the original. Uh, Fantastic. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind with Jim Carrey. That was a good one.
Don't know that one.
You got to watch that one. A dramatic turn for him because it is like kind of it's a dramedy. Obviously, The Matrix, Dumb and Dumber, the original, I think was one of the best comedies of all time. And then I really like Turning Red from Disney, the movie where the girl turns into the giant red panda. There.
I think I haven't seen that one.
You should. It's a good one. It's really funny. It takes place, I think, in the early 2000s, so it's like a period piece. But like everything is, it's fun. It's fun, but it's heartfelt. Jack loves it, and it gets me emotional. So Turning Red is cute. See, that's what's up. Turning Red is great. 13 Going on 30 is a good one too, if you've never seen that. With Jennifer Garner. Not that I'm implying she makes an appearance in any of the other movies we talked about, Elektra.
So, Ellie, we are dying to hear about your movies.
Do it.
Top 5.
Well, I like all the Harry Potter movies. So
yes,
I love all of those.
I approve. Which one is your favorite, though? If you had to pick,
it's probably my favorite. Yeah, or maybe the first. But I like the first 3. And then it gets sort of dark after that. So I'm like,
yes, that's where it gets
still
good.
Like it, but I like the first 3 the best. And then I like Inception.
Oh,
I like any kind of like psychological thriller type of movie. So I like the movie Lucy. Do you know that movie?
Oh, yes. Lucy. No, that is good. That's a good one.
Yeah, I remember that one being really good. And then I really like Shutter Island, even though I'm not really into like horror movies that much, but I like the like psychological movies where like the person gets seriously.
Shutter Island had a really great plot twist. Like there was that like aha moment.
Yeah.
Was that Martin Scorsese? Did he direct that? I can't remember. Obviously, Leonardo DiCaprio was in it.
That says the exhaust of the.
Was that 4? Oh yeah, it is the exhaust. Sorry, he's in the exhaust of the Imperial Destroyer right now, trying to break out or something. But anyway, okay, so that was 4. What's the last one?
Yeah, and then I had one and then I like lost it. I lost it from my brain.
Fail.
Yeah, I really like Leonardo DiCaprio. Anything that he's in is pretty good. Oh, I like Fight Club. I really like Fight Club.
Okay.
Yeah, I like.
All right. Club. Wow. That's actually a pretty surprising list. I'm not. I'm
like V is for Vendetta, stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's another good one. I like that. Yeah. We had a ton of really great. I see Interstellar in there. That's another Christopher Nolan film. Yeah. Gladiator. Somebody else mentioned Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. Never saw that.
Oh, I do like Interview with a Vampire. That one's really good.
Not Leo, but.
No, but I heard they're making like a new version or a series based off of it. I'm like, why do you do that? Why? It's weird.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they're making a new one, and have you seen Interview with a Vampire or no?
Yeah, oh yeah, years ago.
There's like a little girl in it, right?
Yeah, it's Kirsten Dunst.
Right, and at the time it was okay to film it like that with the little girl, but now they're remaking it and it's like a grown woman playing the little girl, which is kind of weird because now it doesn't make any sense. But you can't. So I'm like, just don't refilm it. Just have a new idea,
Really weird. That's the problem with the entertainment business is there isn't any original IP anymore.
Yeah.
So it's remakes and reboots or sequels.
Prequels.
And prequels, yeah. That's honestly, that's one of my biggest issues is continue a story, but don't try to start the story before, like do prequels, because especially now, Star Wars, perfect example, the special effects in the original trilogy, and then you jump forward to the 3 Phantom Menace through whatever, like the look just isn't the same. Like it just doesn't feel right to see like the old special effects from the original trilogy to that. And I don't know. Maybe that's just nitpicky, but Star Wars we're getting into here because Jack's really into it now. If you couldn't tell.
Really? But also, Roxy said that you judge people on their top movies. So, what is
I
your
do.
judgment now after we've revealed
Well,
these movies?
all right. So no, I don't judge, but I can tell a person's I can tell a lot about a person by their top 5 films. Like you understand because of the things that they think about, or the things that make them think, or the things that they escape from in the entertainment or the media they consume. So usually when I talk to people, I do I'm very curious about what their top 5 movies are, because it gives me an idea into their minds.
Hey Ellie, we just got psychoanalyzed by Jason.
I know. I'm like, what
Yeah.
does he know about me now? Like, now.
Yeah, well, what does it mean? What am I
what does it
running from,
mean?
Jason?
No one's running from
Who
anything.
am I?
Who
Jason,
am I?
Mr. Psychologist. Help me.
So speaking of that, somebody else just brought up Donnie Brasco. Timo's here, by the way. What's up, Timo? Donnie Darko. If you've ever seen that movie with Jake Gyllenhaal, that's a mind fuck.
Yes, I've seen that. That one was pretty good.
Yeah, Mark, I would rec that one to you. I'll send you a link to it.
Oh,
Yeah.
do you that one movie with Daniel Radcliffe? Oh, Swiss Army Man. That one's pretty good. That one I thought I was laughing the whole time. So, but I think it's a very specific type of humor. So,
for sure.
Some people would probably be like, "This is the worst movie I've ever seen." So I really like that. Yeah, Roxy said it's the weirdest movie ever. Like, if that's why no comedies are in my top 5. Like, it's very unusual for me to laugh in a movie. It has to be a very, very strange type of humor for me to laugh. Like, for example, Swiss Army Man or any Sacha Baron Cohen is okay with me, but anything else, I just Friends. I don't get it. I just can't watch Friends.
Whoa.
It's just I hate Friends. The Office. Disturbs me.
Yeah.
No, I mean it was during my
probably.
time. I just don't like it at all. A lot of my friends like it. I don't like that type of humor at all. It has to be disturbing for me to think it's funny or very strange.
So
You need a little more shock value. It's fine.
I need to be oh my god, I can't believe they would say this in a movie,
Okay, so you're a little bit dark humor probably. So okay.
Yeah. Interesting.
Right.
Hey, what do you think about Jason about Idiocracy? I think it's such an the humor is not great, but the whole thing is becoming true. That's the weirdest thing about it. I like the movie, but the humor is just a little bit.
It's a little frightening how accurate that movie has become as a narrative for our society. Mike Judge, who anybody that doesn't know, was the creator of Beavis and Butthead, the movie Office Space, also King of the Hill, wrote and directed this film about a dystopian future where society has just crumbled and turned into a bunch of idiots.
I saw that.
Yeah, and a lot of people reference it, especially now. But yeah, it's sad. It's sad that we've known, or the writing's always been on the wall, that this is how things are going to turn out. And as a precautionary tale, it just shows you that people just don't really listen. We look at it as entertainment and not as a signal that hey, we got to get our shit together, And I feel like that's probably a really deep answer for such a dumb movie, but that's how I look at things. I look at it through that type of lens.
I think they didn't mean to do it too deep, to make it too deep, but it just they were what is the stupidest things that can happen? This will never happen, probably, actually. And then now we are oh, would you look at that?
Yeah, it's ironic, but you can see where it's not necessarily predictions, but people just understand human nature. So there's people that just get the fact that when they see society being a certain way, that ultimately it's gonna result in X. So I think Mike Judge is a very intelligent person and writer and the creator, like even Beavis and Butthead, like it was very crass, dumb humor, but it really reflected on the culture at the time. Like if you go and rewatch it now, it does not translate well at all. It's like I watch it, I still think it's kind of funny, but like I'll watch some of it and I'm like, oh my God, like this is awkward. I feel uncomfortable. But that is again indicative of the society that we were in right then, like in the 90s. Like this is what was happening. So it's a societal commentary, and I think if people just didn't take it so tongue-in-cheek and really like woke up 20 years ago when it came out, that things would be a little different. But I don't know, here we are looking at it as if it was some sort of prophetic film of what things were, and it was. So it's kind of funny. What do we got here? Got something working. I don't even think someone in Denver could afford the apartment while working at a coffee shop. Oh, we're talking about plots of stories. Yeah, I mean, there's so many unrealistic things that happen in TV and film. Like, I don't think anybody lives within their means, realistically.
Okay, what about Family Guy? Is pretty. Oh no, wait, not Family Guy. Not Family Guy. It's The Simpsons. They predicted reality, right? So they're pretty realistic. They predicted.
Everybody's definitely seen that too. A lot of the old Simpsons episodes are playing out now. Yeah, it's crazy. I don't know. And again, it's not necessarily predicting anything. It's just people understanding how people and cultures work, and just writing to it. And also, society works in cycles. Like our world is cyclical, so everything that happened will happen again because we just repeat, and that's media. It just retells the same stories over and over. We're not changing. So yeah. Oh wow, we got kind of deep there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I overthink films a lot and TV a lot because I worked in it. So I, spent a lot of time behind the camera, like understanding how lights make you feel about a certain scene, or how certain dialogue or can elicit responses from a viewer, or even just a camera angle can affect how somebody thinks about or feels a specific moment. Oh yeah, that's awesome. And I think that it's important to remember, like it's supposed to be art. It's art. People are speaking from they're putting something out for people to internalize emotionally and physically and have these visceral reactions to. So yeah, that's my spiel. And I love movies, and I could talk about them all day. And you got me on a real sidebar here.
Well, what are your top 5? Did you already say your top 5, Jason?
I did.
Yeah.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay.
I did.
My bad.
You're quite all right. I would love to continue this, but we have to go because we are at the end of the episode. But Mark, this was awesome. This was super fun to hang out with you today. Yeah. I want to give you an opportunity just to give yourself a little bit of if you have anything coming up where people can see you, make sure that everybody follows you on the twits. Any other socials you want people to paying attention to, like whatever.
The tweets.
Shameless plug. Go for
it. Yeah, I don't actually have a lot of stuff coming up, except I'm going to be in October 7th and 8th in how is it called? Vue.js DE, the German chapter of Vue.js conference. I'm going to give a talk there.
Awesome. What's the talk about?
The talk is about how to create a multiverse with Pina, so a tool that is part of the Vue ecosystem. I did one of those with JavaScript, how to create a multiverse and time travel with JavaScript proxies.
Wow.
And this is sort of a Vue version of that, but cooler.
I want to learn how to time travel.
That sounds amazing. When is that, did you say?
Just let me... I think the 7th and 8th, but let me check. The conference. The 8th and 9th of October.
Awesome.
It's in Germany, yeah.
All right. Well, I will direct people to your X profile where hopefully you have that data and they can follow you and check that out. And I'm hoping that it will also be streamed or at least recorded so we can all also check it out because I sure as hell ain't making it to Germany. That would be awesome.
Yeah, I think it's going to be recorded. They said something about that. I think I read
Awesome.
something. Yeah, cool. So thanks a lot for having me, Jason and Ellie. This has been fun. We should just hang out more
I
often.
like this. Hey, you are welcome. You have the link to get in backstage. You want to show up any Friday? Feel free. This was great.
Okay, I might take you up on that.
You better bring the whiskey next time. I want to have a nice chat about some whiskey and cigars with you.
Oh, then we have to go downstairs to the bar.
Oh boy.
I can take you there next time. Yeah.
There we go. We'll do a
cool.
little tour. We'll do a Marc Backes Cribs episode.
Yeah,
And, you can
then
show
you
us
see
the
me
whole house.
like wasted at the end of the episode or something like. Let's try this one. Let's try that one. Oh my god.
I like it. All right. Well, it was great to see Mark. Great to have Ellie here as always. Thanks to everybody in the chat. Holy cow, we had so many friends here today. It was great seeing all of you. Enjoy your weekends. Happy Friday. And remember, it's nice to be important, but it's more important to be nice. Have a great weekend. Toodles.
Have a great weekend, everyone. Bye bye.